It was Friday morning. I was sitting in the living room drinking water when I heard a knock at the door. I stood up and opened the door. It was my neighbor, Mr. Fahad. He smiled and said, "Hi, Adam. I need a little help. We have a big family gathering today, and I'm looking for someone to help us prepare." I said, "Sure, I'm free today. What do you need?" He said, "We'll have many guests, and I need help setting the table, moving chairs, and preparing dishes." I smiled. "I can do that. Just tell me what time." He said, "Come by 4 p.m., and thank you so much." I closed the door and felt excited. It was my first time helping a neighbor with something like this. At 4 p.m., I walked to Mr. Fahad's house. He welcomed me at the door and said, "Come in, let's start with the chairs." There were about 20 chairs stacked in the garage. We carried them to the backyard, one by one. Then we placed them around the big tables. "Now we need to clean the plates and cups," he said. I followed him to the kitchen. There were many dishes from the morning. Some needed washing. We washed the plates, cups, and big trays. His daughter said, "Don't forget the oven. The meat is still inside." I opened the oven and the smell was amazing. The food looked delicious. Later, we started to put the table together. We placed plates, cups, spoons, and napkins. Mr. Fahad said, "Adam, you're good at this." I smiled. I learned from my mom. At 6 p.m., the first guests started arriving. Men, women, and kids, all wearing nice clothes. Mr. Fahad said, "Adam, help me welcome the guests." I stood at the door with him, saying, "Welcome, please come in." The guests sat on the chairs, drinking tea and talking. Kids ran around laughing. The table was full of dishes now: rice, meat, soup, salad, and sweets. When it was time to eat, Mr. Fahad said, "Adam, help me serve the food." We carried the big trays and started placing them on the table. I said to one boy, "Be careful, the plate is hot." Everyone was smiling and enjoying the food. One guest told me, "This rice is delicious." I said, "Thank you. I helped prepare it." It felt good to help. Even though I was tired, I was happy. After dinner, we started to clean. Some guests helped move the chairs. Others stacked the plates near the sink. I went inside to help in the kitchen. We washed cups, dishes, and trays. The kids were playing outside. The men were talking and drinking tea. It was a nice evening. Mr. Fahad said, "Adam, can you carry this to the fridge?" I took a big tray of meat and put it inside the fridge. Then he said, "And don't forget the sweets." I smiled. "Yes, I won't forget." We finished cleaning by 9 p.m. Everything was neat and shiny again. He handed me a small gift and said, "Thank you. You were a big help today." I said, "It was my pleasure. I enjoyed it." I walked back home slowly. It was late now, and the street was quiet. The lights from the houses were soft and warm. I still felt the smell of delicious food on my clothes. As I opened the door, my little brother said, "Where have you been, Alam?" I smiled and said, "I was helping the neighbors. We had a big dinner." He looked surprised. "You were cooking?" "Not only cooking," I said. "I helped set the table, serve the guests, and clean the dishes." My brother sat on the chair and said, "Wow, that's a lot of work." I nodded and said, "Yes, but it was a special day. Mr. Fahad even gave me a gift." I showed him the small box of sweets. He opened it and said, "These look delicious." I told him the full story, how we moved the chairs, put the plates and cups, and how we prepared meat on the fire. "Next time," my brother said, "I want to come too." I laughed and said, "Then you must be ready to carry heavy trays and clean after dinner." I sat near the window and looked at the night sky. The stars were shining. I felt happy. Helping someone makes you feel full inside, like you did something big, something good. That night, I went to sleep with a smile. It was a long day, a beautiful day, a day of helping, working, laughing, and learning. And maybe next week, another neighbor will send me an invitation. If they do, I'll be ready. After the guests left, I stayed with my neighbor to help. The table was full of dirty plates, cups, and spoons. We started to clean everything. I took the plates and he washed the cups. He said, "You are very kind, Adam. Not many young people help like this." I smiled and said, "We are neighbors. We must help each other." Then we heard a sound from the kitchen. It was his son. The little boy dropped a glass of water on the floor. "Oh no," he said. The floor was wet, but it was okay. I got a towel and cleaned it. The boy said, "Thank you, Uncle Adam." I laughed, "You're welcome, my friend." After that, my neighbor asked me to help move some chairs and tables back to the storage room. We carried them together. Some were heavy, but we worked like a team. "Almost done," he said. "Yes," I said, "just a few more." He gave me a cold juice to drink and said, "You're always welcome here." I sat down on a chair, tired but happy. The evening was beautiful, with a light breeze. I looked at the sky. The stars were shining. It was peaceful. Suddenly, his wife came and said, "We forgot to give the cake to the guests." We laughed. "Let's take it to the neighbors tomorrow," I said. "Good idea," she answered. Before I left, I helped take out the trash. Then I said goodbye and walked home. My mother was waiting for me. She asked, "How was the dinner?" I said, "It was great. I helped a lot, and I feel proud." She smiled and said, "That's my boy." I went to my room, took a quick shower, and lay on my bed. My body was tired, but my heart was full. Helping others always makes the day better. I closed my eyes and thought, today was not just a dinner. It was a day of kindness, family, and community. Then I slept with a smile on my face.